Hello everybody, my name's Ben Armentano, and today we're going to talk about modal jazz. Okay, so as far as I know, modal jazz kind of means the use of modes when you're playing. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I never understood modes, okay? And I don't think of modes at all when I'm playing, when I'm soloing, okay? When I was being taught it at college and everything, I just didn't understand the whole concept of modes. It was just very confusing to me. I also found that if I was soloing and I was trying to think of what mode to use over a particular thing, it would completely stop me dead in my tracks and it would just completely ruin the solo. So rather than think of modes, I just thought of like scales and just blew notes off that particular scale that I was playing. So an example, like say if the music says C major 7, okay, instead of just playing a straight C major scale, okay, I would put in a sharp 11 or a flat 5, okay, with the use of that F sharp. Okay. And then years later, as I was trying to study modes and getting older and kind of understanding them a little bit better, I came to realize that that is really a Lydian mode. Okay. Another example is very often if I see a dominant 7 in the music, like say G7, okay, I would play, okay, which is just straight. You know, the way I look at it is it's a major scale with a dominant 7, okay? And I would just call that scale a dominant scale, okay? Or dominant 7th scale, okay? I don't think that there's actually that name for that scale. But again, now that I understand modes a little bit, okay, I've come to realize that that is a Mixolydian mode. Okay, so that, and then for another instance too, in trying to sound like Chick Corea, I try to do something like with that flat second and that flat third. Okay, but now I've got, again, and I just prefer to look at that as a dominant 7th scale, and I'm flatting the second and I'm flatting the third, okay, and flatting the 6 and 7. So I can't even play it right. Something like that, okay? But again, through the years, I came to find out that that's really a Phrygian mode, okay? So again, I'm actually playing modes, but I don't think of them as modes, okay? So now, having said that, the whole use of playing modal jazz using modes, I don't think of it that way, okay? Now, here's how I do think of it though. To me, if I want to make something sound modal, what happens is that it's not what I do with my right hand that makes it modal. It's what I do with my left hand, to me, that makes it modal, okay? With the use of what I call fourth chords, or what it actually is a suspended 7th chord, okay? So in other words, if you have a C, that's a suspended 7, okay? Because what I'm playing is the C, the 4th, which is F, and the B flat, which is the 7th, okay? But the reason it's 4th is because C to F is a 4th, and F to B flat is a 4th, okay? So a lot of time, I see that as 4th chords, okay? And a lot of musicians call that 4th chords. The technical name for it, I guess, is a suspended 7th chord. And in the music, when I write something like that on the music, I'll write, you know, F sus 7 or C sus 7 like that. But I in my mind, I see that as a 4th chord, okay? So just with what I do with my left hand, immediately makes it into a modal sounding thing, okay? And I can do it, I'm not doing anything different with my right hand solo wise, okay? But just the use of doing that sus 7th chords in my left hand or the 4th chords makes it modal. So here's an example, like if I have D minor, okay? If I'm playing a D minor 7 or D minor 9 and I play this lick, okay, like that, all right? That's the same kind of lick I would play over a D minor 7 chord. It's just basically a flat 5th to the 5th, and then the outline of the rest of the chord, the C, E, and the G. D minor 9. Okay, but in my left hand, if I use those 4th chords, okay, immediately sounds like this. Let's see. See immediately how that kind of sound makes it modal. modal, okay? So I'm not thinking about anything differently melodically in my right hand to make something modal, okay? With the exception of maybe what I will do in my right hand is I will outline a sus7 in my right hand too. So in other words, okay, so that is, I am outlining that in my right hand, okay? I'm not thinking of a traditional scale over, say, a minor 7 chord, okay? I am thinking of it as fourths or the sus7 sound. Okay, now that kind of sound has been around for many years, okay? Bill Evans was doing it back in the 50s, okay? And a lot of jazz players took that and ran with it, and now it's very, very, very common. And a lot of people use it and play it great, you know. Yeah, for instance, McCoy Tyner really does it fantastic. He does his left hand. Just pounding away while he's soloing like that. You just hammer away with those chords like that. But it's interesting because just the use of that makes you sound modal. Like, now, I'll never forget, many years ago I was playing a gig with Chet McCracken's band, and Chet, rest in peace, used to be in the Doobie Brothers, and he had his own fusion band after he left the Doobie Brothers, which I was a part of. And we were doing a gig one time, and we were doing a particular song, and it was kind of a modal kind of vein and everything. So I was doing a lot of that in my left hand. Okay, with my left hand like that. And during the break, somebody came over to me. I don't know if he was a musician or not or whatever, but he came over to me and he said, man, he said, you sound just like Herbie Hancock. And I had to laugh at that because, of course, I don't sound like Herbie Hancock. I only wish I could sound like Herbie Hancock. But I knew immediately what he was talking about because he heard me playing that kind of thing. So he immediately equated my playing with Herbie Hancock. Okay, so, but that is, and that's what I was going for. So it was fantastic that he thought that, like that and everything, because, you know, he heard that sus7 sound, not knowing, of course, what it was, unless he was a musician and did know. But I was very happy that he thought I sounded like Herbie Hancock. Now, again, the jazz pianists have been doing that for years, okay? Where it kind of came to light in the rock world was Keith Emerson doing that, okay? Because, you know, rock keyboard players never did anything like that, okay? But Keith, you know, with his famous song Tarkus, he had this kind of sound. Okay, those are all sus7 chords. F, B flat, E flat, to a B flat sus7, like that, to a G flat sus7, G flat B E. So, like that. So that blew the rock world like completely crazy like that and everything, to hear that kind of sound coming from the keyboard, which is totally unheard of like that. So anyway, so Keith brought it to the rock world like that, okay? So anyway, so modal jazz, like I say, if I want to make, now I can make any song modal, okay? I can take a standard that's just not modal like that, and by putting those kind of chords in there, like that, I can make it modal like that. And I can make another player sound modal too. For instance, like, in other words, if I'm backing a saxophone player or a trumpet player or something, okay, just by me putting those chords underneath his solo, I immediately can turn it modal like that and everything, okay? Now, that's great if he wants it to sound modal. If he doesn't want it to sound modal and I do that, then he's kind of got to follow me because I'm pushing him in that direction. Hopefully, he'll hear that and like that, and then he maybe will do something and go modally, like you know, in his solo like that, okay? But again, I can make him sound modal just by doing like that, okay? So I can do that. Another thing I love doing in a band context when we're doing something modal like that, I love doing something, you know, tension. And what's really cool is, like when the whole band picks up on that, hopefully the bass player, when he starts to hear that, he'll pedal that note like that and everything, if it's a walking bass. Okay, but hopefully when he hears me go for those chords, maybe he might pedal. Drummer, like hopefully the drummer, when he hears that, will suddenly kind of break away with straight time and go more fills around the drums and everything. It just creates excitement and everything, and a build and everything. And so when that works, that is so much fun. Okay, like that. It can also destroy things if the players aren't great players and everything, and they try to go with that, and all of a sudden starts to turn into a train wreck. But hopefully they're good players and they'll follow that. So anyway, okay, so that's kind of how my approach to modal jazz is. Like I say, it's not for me as a pianist. It doesn't come from the melody lines or the melodic lines that I do. It comes from my left hand playing those fourths. Okay, and another thing too, you can literally just throw your hands all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing like that and everything. I'm just literally throwing my hands down, like, you know. I'm just literally throwing my left hand, as long as they're keeping in fourths, like that and everything. Okay, I'm just throwing things out there. I'm not thinking that, okay, I'm going to the minor third now, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. I'm just hammering away. Another little interesting modal kind of sound in my left hand is a sus4 chord. Okay, like for instance, G there, G, C, D. That will make it sound modal too, like that. So sometimes I'll do that kind of sound. Like that. Okay? All right, so I'm going to just try a little bit of the tune So What, and just kind of play along with this and show you kind of how I would approach this. So. Okay, anyway, something like that. So hope that kind of explains how my approach is to modal jazz. Like I say, I don't think I really do it all that well, but I can do it good enough to fake it. And like I say, hopefully people are happy when they're looking for a modal kind of sound, and I play that stuff. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon.